Welcome back to TDM TV Spotlight Series. I'm your host, Marian Edwards. This season 2, you will also see my co-host. His name is Ricardo Brown. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.
Greetings and welcome to season 2 of Triumphant's Training and Development Ministry Spotlight Series. It is indeed our pleasure to be back for another season after such an exciting season 1 where we interviewed our entrepreneurs from our local church, Triumphant Deliverance Center, located in Mount Carey, St. James. Now season 2 will commence today with a distinguished guest, somebody who I love and respect and I hold dear to my heart. He's none other than my pastor, my bishop, Bishop Dr. Wellesley Plummer. Bishop, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
It is our pleasure today to have our bishop and my bishop, more than which is even better. So I'm not only interviewing a guest, I'm interviewing a friend. He has ushered me into ministry, and you're going to hear a little bit more about that journey soon. So Bishop, just to start off today, I want to briefly introduce you by using your profile and just tell the audience a little bit about who you really are. So Bishop's motto is, if God said it, he believes it, and that settles it. If God says it, he believes it, and that settles it. Now, who is Bishop Wellesley Plummer? He's going to tell us a little bit more about himself, but let me give you a quick, brief synopsis. Bishop Wellesley Plummer got saved in the year 1976 on the commons of Landilo, Westmoreland. He was baptized on August 26, 1976. In 1977, he became a member of the Deliverance Evangelistic Association at one of our churches in Savannah Lamar, Westmoreland. In the year 1980, he was appointed pastor for the Miracle Deliverance Center in 3 Miles River, where he served for 8 years. He was then transferred to Vision Deliverance Center, located in Lacovia, St. Elizabeth, where he spent another 8 years. Yeah, a man of 8, Bishop.
Yes, sir.
He, along with his family, was later welcomed at the Word of Faith Deliverance Center, where he's now spent a total of over 25 years of ministry at Catherine Hall, Word of Faith Deliverance Center. And along his journey, I'm going to let him talk about that. He had done several studies at different institutions. And I must say something that's very important. He has been married for over 40 years. And that union, that marriage has produced 4 boys. Bishop has traveled extensively. He has been to the Caribbean, he has been to Europe, he has been to Africa. And I almost sure that he also went to South Korea. Mm-hmm. So he has been quite around the world. So today it is my pleasure to interview and have a discussion and shine the spotlight on Bishop Dr. Wellesley Plummer. Bishop,
Yes, sir.
how are you doing today, sir?
Blessed and favored.
Yes, we want to thank you again for us. Let us borrowing your time for a bit. Just have a quick discussion. Okay. Now, the last time, Bishop, we did entrepreneurship series. We'll talk about the business part of things, but today is more a ministry focus. Okay. You have gone over, well, you're going to tell the audience, you have been in ministry quite a long time. Yes. So today we want to put the spotlight on you, your walk, your growth, your experiences. So I want to start out by just telling me, from your own perspective, who is Wellesley Plummer?
Well, to simply put, a child of God, love God with all of my heart, love people, and that's it.
That settles it.
That's it. That's it.
All right, cool. So let's get straight into the ministry aspect now, Bishop. Now, at what age did you officially came into the kingdom of God? 18. 18? Yeah. Tell me, what was that like? What led to that transformation?
From age 9, I had, well, basically the call from age 9. But it was not actually fulfilled until I was 18.
So when I say call, I mean a telephone call, a digital or flow? What type of call are you talking about? When I say call,
there was no flow at that time.
There was no flow at that time? Cable and wireless?
No.
So tell me about the call.
The call is that I heard, well, the voice of the Lord called me, like Samuel.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And when I got the full call was when I was 18 at Sab Church. Pastor Errol Campbell was the pastor, my pastor then.
Okay.
And so when I heard the call 3 times. I went to him and talked to him. And he said, the Lord is calling you into ministry. And that was it. Everything else began to fall into place from that time. I tried, for ministry, I tried to enroll in about 3 different Bible schools, Bible institutions at that time, but all 3 was not successful. It was Midland first. At that time I had signed up with JCF and started attending lecture parade and training. And the Midland said to me, okay, all the best in your police training. They refused me. Then I applied to JBC, that is Jamaica Jamaica Bible School.
Oh, the Bible School.
Yeah, in Mandeville also. I didn't hear from them again on the application. I don't hear a word. Then Bethel. I went to Kingston, was 60 of us. And out of the 60, only 15 they took. And they said to us, the rest of us, they said, all right, you have to do some more studies and then reapply. So
3 times?
3 times. So I said to myself, well, Lord, you have to work it from here out. I just take my mind off it, and I did some home study courses. So that was it.
Wow. So you got the call, you heard the voice, but 3 ministry opportunities that you tried to go after didn't work out.
It didn't work out.
So didn't that leave you feeling a bit confused?
Not so much confused, but kind of concerned. Because I'm wondering, what are they looking for? If it's a Bible school, you're supposed to be able to train somebody and receive them and train them. So what are they looking for? I couldn't tell. Okay. I couldn't tell what they were looking for.
So that was at around age 18?
Yeah, going 18.
Going upwards?
Yeah.
All right, that's cool. So you say, so eventually, what happened? Because you had a start, but you didn't start with those 3 opportunities.
No.
You applied for the police force.
I left the force because we had collegian with force and ministry. It was like today where you have ICF, you know, the Christian part of the force. It's not like now. Then there was a conflict between the force and the ministry. So that's when I left the force.
Okay. Okay. So let us fast forward a bit, Bishop. Ministry assignments.
Yes.
I know that is you being called into ministry. But you have different parts of ministry. You have being a minister, you have evangelist, you have pastor.
Right.
At what point did you go into official ministry in terms of being enrolled to a school? Right. Into a church, or is it that you went to you walk the streets and give out tracts first? Like, how did it start before you were prepared into the pastoral role?
We started at 91. That's Sagamon. Started out as the youngest deacon.
Oh, there we go.
In the church. It was New Testament Church of God first. Started there. I spent a year there. They elected me as a deacon, youngest on their board. Spent 1 year there. We left. Administration differences, so we left. And we started at 91. It wasn't 91 was not the original. It was where Imperial Theatre was, right on that side of the building there. We rented a place, and that's where it started. So the same position I left New Testament is the same position I got when I went to Deliverance Ministries.
So that shifted you?
Yeah.
So Bishop, for me, I had the Jonah effect when I was called to ministry. You know that firsthand. I said, no, not do it. Did you ever experience a Jonah effect, meaning that you heard the call and you run, or you got the call and you just launched straight in? What was that process before pastoral? So we'll get to the pastoral part, but that built up to the pastoral role.
Never have the Jonah experience. My thing was, whatever you want, Lord, that's it. I am willing to do whatever you want me to do. So it was not, I wanted to be a good Christian in the church, not into the pastoral thing. But then more and more, that's when I realized that's what I was being pushed to do, not by my superiors, but the Lord himself pushed me into ministry, because I found out that the very same thing I said I did not want to do was what I find myself got pushed into. Yeah.
Well, that's good. So guys, Bishop Plummer didn't go through the Jonah effect like me, so he's one of the great ones. Because I know most of us out there, especially us younger pastors, for a time we run.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that we have somebody who decided to answer the call and make his calling and election sure. So Bishop, before you became a pastor, what were you doing? Were you just slept and wake up and then you just move into pastoral? What were you doing? You had any jobs out there, any skill? What your occupation like?
I worked with, first it was the hospital, Sablamar Public General. Spent 3 years there, work in all areas. In that, the Lord was preparing me. I didn't even know what he was doing. But I work in all areas. I work in the theater, I work on the medical ward, I work on the surgical ward, I work as security, I work every area. I work as reliever, and it was, I spent 3 years, then I left. I went to Meat Plus Wholesale and Supermarket, still dealing with people, and spent 3 years there. I don't know what's about this tree thing, but I spent 3 years there and then I left. And I went to do plumbing.
What's the last name again?
Plummer.
Oh.
So I went to do plumbing with this man named Vernon. And that's the skill. So I was doing all of that before ministry.
Before ministry.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you leave all of that and go to ministry? You know, make more money out that side. Why would you?
Well, it's not about money, you know.
Uh-huh.
I have never got into ministry because of money. I have learned that the earth belongs to God and everything in it, and wherever he places you, he provides for you.
Amen.
He provides for you.
All right, let us deep dive now into the pastoral part of ministry now. So you got the call at around 18, went to 3 different institutions trying to get enrolled, trying to get equipped.
Yes.
Went into the police force for a short stint, and you went to do plumbing, and you were working at the surgical ward, all of those stuff.
Right.
Now came pastoral role, which we know is a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
Being called to the pastoral role. Tell me about that. What was that journey like to get into that initial call?
All right. Pastor Campbell, my first pastor, they had a team that they would they called that team I don't remember the name of the team now, but they would travel the island.
That missionary kind of thing?
Yeah, they'd go on concerts, they'd go all across the island.
Oh.
Across the island. And he would leave sometimes like for 3 weeks. And he would leave me in charge. So my training, on the job training, started when he would have left me at 91 and say, carry on until I get back. Never tell me what to do. He just said to me, carry on until I get back. But having a knowledge of church life, even as young as I was then, it helped me. And I gained the respect of all the people who I come in contact with.
So that's the same church that you were the youngest deacon
Yes.
in?
Yes.
The same church? He left and then he asked you to?
Yes, to
continue.
Hold, in other words, hold the church.
Okay, cool.
So basically it was like being a co-pastor. Yeah.
Right.
So time and time he would leave, you're in charge. And there were 3 of us, Hugh, Pierce, and Lou, 3 of us. Hugh died, Pierce is in the States, and Lou is in the States. So we 3 would work, hold the church together until they return. So that was the start of the pastoral ministry. I didn't really want to pastor per se, but the experience and exposure helped me to develop that love for the pastorate. Yes. So that's where it started.
Right. So that was a preparation ground.
Yeah.
The pastor basically had to be on the road doing ministry. And you, as the youngest deacon to be elected on the board and in the church, was asked to basically continue running the church.
Yes.
All right. So that same church that you grew up in, is that the first church you pastored, or you went to another church? Where did you go first?
Being the co-pastor was in the same home-based church. The same Pastor Campbell. We had a disagreement. On something. And I served in the church in every area. From cutting the churchyard, to sweeping the church, to moving the chairs or the benches in that time, to preaching, to doing the whole works.
Right.
But we had a disagreement, and I went to church Sunday morning. Being a Sunday school teacher at that time, I did my class and I went back home in protest.
In protest.
Yes, I said I don't want to stay because certain things were happening. And he left church the morning when he saw me left, because that's not me. And he came to my house in Kingswood and found me and said he used to drive a Vauxhall. One of those Vauxhall cars, and he came and he took me back to church. I didn't rebel. I went back with him because he didn't come with any brute force. He didn't come with any ill feeling.
Body up.
No. He came and he lovingly invited me to come back to church. I went back to church, and we started an outreach in 3 Miles River.
Right.
He said to me one day, what if the Lord wanted to go to 3 Miles River to be the pastor there? I said, God is not going to send me to somewhere I don't want to go. And the same word I spoke was the same word that came back to haunt me. Pierce was the one who started to be the missionary at 3 Miles River. But it happened that Pierce had to leave and go to the States. And the next person in line was,
the lot dropped.
Yes.
Fall, fell, tumbled over on you.
The Matthias lot.
Yes.
Fell on me, so I went. And that is history.
So let me see if I get a Bishop. So you said that you at that time you believed that because you didn't want to go to 3 Miles River.
Right.
You said God not send you there.
That's it.
But the Lord sent you there.
Yeah.
So what this saying then, Bishop, is that you have some path along this journey that we think we are not cut out for. That really, that is where the Lord is leading us.
That is where the Lord wanted it. I don't know if you heard this story. Somebody said, don't send me to Africa. But the same place the person said he didn't want to go, that's where they end up, in Africa. So that was my thing. I didn't want to go to 3 Miles River because it was a kind of dark community. They gamble from morning till midnight. They sit in the street, women and men in the same area. They eat, they sleep, they get up, they gamble. I didn't even want to go there. And they were violent. 3 Miles River. But I went there as the Lord would direct me. And until today, when I walk into 3 Miles River, it is maximum respect. Maximum respect. Because I've gone there, I have set a trend. And 3 other pastors went there after me. You have Pastor Coates, who is now dead.
Yes.
You have Pastor Beecham, who is now dead. You have Pastor Williams, who went there. He's out of the pastorate now.
Yes.
And now you have Pastor Malcolm there.
Right.
Yes. So that's the 3 Miles River journey.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about 3 Miles River. I know you've been across the length and breadth of ministry, but what stands out to you as you think about 3 Mile River? What incident happening there that stood out to you? Or experience there that, you know, at that church, you know, this memory will not leave me? Anything?
I went up for service once. Well, before that happened, the night before, I dreamt I saw 3 cats. 3 cats. One of the cats jumped at me as if it would claw me, but then it became a pet in my hand. I didn't have a clue as to what that meant, but we went up the Wednesday evening for service, and there were 3 guys. 2 were brothers and the other one was friend. They were there smoking where we had church at that time. The house was here, we had church here in a workshop. And the one, he was a Rasta. He was the one who kicked me on my shoulder. Literally.
A Rasta man?
Yeah.
Kick you on the shoulder while you were fighting?
No.
So
we went up for service, and the young man at the time, according to them, we shouldn't have any church there because his beliefs is different from ours. But it wasn't his place, so I didn't pay much mind. But he just jumped up like he's a karate expert.
Let's kick you. As the pastor of the church.
Yes. It was something that they conspired because the 3 of them were there, but he was the one who did the attack.
Bold, brazen one.
Yes, he was the one that did the attack. It never leave my mind, but I went to Frome at the police station, I reported it and came back, had service. It's a good thing though that the members of the church weren't there, because I have some members there, who, some of them are dead now. It would have been history. There was one that
defended to the core.
Sir, there was one sister they called Sister Nicey. She sells fish at the market. A no-nonsense person. You can't touch her pastor. So if she was out there, I know what would have happened.
Brimstone and fire.
Because it's one of those persons who is not educated. Yeah, that woman would put him down, and I'm serious. She would put him down, and her sister was worse. And both of them can't read. So you know,
oh boy,
you know what would have come out. But I'm grateful that none of them were there. The next morning, which was the Thursday morning, before I wake up, 6 o'clock, the young man who attacked me came to my house to ask forgiveness.
You sure not come to get another kick on the next time?
No, but you see how the dream play out.
Yeah.
You see how the dream play out.
With the cat?
I told you that the cat became a pet in my hand when it realized it couldn't claw me.
But at first it was trying to claw you.
Yes.
When you realized it couldn't,
it became a pet.
became a pet.
So the man who kicked me on the shoulder, when he realized that he did wrong, he came before I wake up.
The next morning?
The next morning to ask forgiveness. That never leave my mind.
I wonder if I'm as nice to get to you.
Maybe
so
not.
she not threaten him and say, if you don't go over there, no boy.
Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't think she had anything to do with it. It just played out.
It just played out that way?
It just played out that way.
And he came in a dream before.
And you know what happened to him afterwards?
What?
He got mad. He got mad afterwards. I mean, mad. Walking the streets of 3 miles from South to 3 miles. He got mad.
Look at that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Could it be a case, audience, and touch the Lord's anointed? Don't touch the Lord's anointed. Could it be?
The brother developed cancer. And they had him there. His mother was rubbing and using all kind of things on him.
It never worked.
And it never worked. I went to visit him in the hospital. And he told me, he said, Brother P, I can't sleep. Pain. So I asked him, do you want me to pray for you? He said, yes, man. This is one man who never believed in a church and prayer, anything. Except prayer on his dying bed. Yeah? So those memories lives on.
All right. So Bishop, that was 3 Miles River.
Yes.
Miss Nicey and the Rasta man.
Yes.
And we saw the vision there of the cat basically coming
Come
to pass in the physical.
reality, yes,
Right.
yes.
So that, and you spent 8 years there?
8 years.
8 years. All right, and then from there, you moved on to where now?
To Lacovia.
Lacovia.
Yes.
So that was somewhere you really wanted to go? Because you didn't want to go 3 miles and the Lord sent you there. So what was Lacovia experience like?
Lacovia started with Pastor Maurice Brown. He was in Cove, Hanover, Cousin's Cove. We would have gone there for service because they had a little work down there. Gone there for service, and he had a vision that he was starting a church in Lacovia. I encouraged the work. Matter of fact, I named the church Vision Deliverance Center because it was Pastor Maurice's vision to start a work there.
Oh.
So I was instrumental in the starting of that work. We had a baptism there. The first baptism was 180 persons. One evening we were going up for crusade. Bishop Bernard was with me in the bus. We take a public transport. And when I reached Pelican Hill in Cave, Waterwheel, I remember I didn't pray. I was sitting in the front of the bus, 3 persons sitting on the driver make 4. I remember I didn't pray. I breathed a word of prayer. When we reached White House, 2 donkeys run from this side of the road right out into the bus. Boom!
Are you at the front?
I was sitting in the front, and the donkeys died on the spot. One on this side, the other one got flung over to the right side of the road. 2 of them died. My foot was cut here, splinter all over my face.
Yeah, because you had the windshield.
Yes, everything shattered. And so I went to the clinic nearby. They dressed the cut. We went on to Lacovia for the crusade. That night is the most men I have seen turn to the Lord. That night. And so the work was established in Lacovia.
Wait, so Bishop, you say you met in the accident. And what happened after that?
We went straight to the meeting.
What do you mean by go? Wait, hold on. So what do you mean by go? You say you were in the front of a bus.
In the front of the bus.
With 3 or 4 other persons. Driver.
Right.
And the front seat packed.
3 of us. Front fully packed. The front of the bus came in on us.
Splinters all over you.
All over.
Cut on your foot.
Cut on my foot.
2 donkeys died.
2 donkeys died.
And you go where?
Lacovia.
You mean Lacovia Hospital?
No, we went to crusade.
The same night?
Same night. We went to crusade. Yes? And that night is the most men I have seen at a meeting coming to the altar. The most men. And
up to this day, after 40 years of ministry?
Yes, it is, other than Africa, is the most men I have seen at a crusade coming to the altar for prayer. And some of them got saved. Some of them are even dead now.
What?
Yeah, yeah.